This is Margaret Koolman from soulastrology.com. The most striking thing to me about this Sagittarius New Moon chart is the cluster in Capricorn. We know that Pluto has been there for a couple of years now, and the North Node has been going backwards through Capricorn until it's reached pretty much the same point as Pluto. In this chart, Mercury has just moved forward to the point where it's on the Pluto, and Mars is not far away, going to be joining it shortly. Mercury being about our thoughts and communication, the ideas that are going around. Being on Pluto, the possibility is that we get extremely obsessive in our thinking. Wherever Pluto is, we feel that place is very, very important. So it's as though our speech is really important, and our thoughts about Capricorn situations, the material world, very, very important. And it's the importance, the feeling of importance of it, that makes us get so obsessive, so gripped on, feeling that we have got to put our point across. Pluto overthrows the surface and brings up what's underneath for us to see and reject if it's appropriate. And so we are very often afraid around the area of Pluto. We're afraid we're going to lose something that we actually want to keep. Certainly we're going to lose the way things have been in order that the next stage can unfold itself. But that fear of loss is quite irrational. It's a natural part of our survival mode. And Mercury on it has us thinking hard about what it is that we're losing. What it is we feel may go wrong. The beautiful thing about this in the chart is its connection to Venus. Venus being beautifully, exactly sextile the North Node and trine the South Node. It's not that this relating is unaware, because it's in Scorpio, so it's very aware of these depths. But it's lending to the area of our mental congestion an added piece, which we need this month to take hold of, I think, which is the love of it all. That actually, as long as we go forward lovingly, we can encompass whatever happens. There is no terrible thing that's so terrible that love won't make it digestible to us. And what we can digest enables us to grow, which is what we're here for. So love seems to me to be very much the answer of this chart. The things that we'll be anxious about, obsessing about, or being extremely innovatively transformational thinking about will have been happening for a few days now, as Mercury went into Capricorn on the 1st of December. So it goes over Pluto absolutely at the new moon, which gives us the flavour of the month. But it only goes a little further forward, turns around on the 10th of December and starts to retrograde back through Capricorn, going over Pluto again on the 13th, 14th, 15th of December, and then back. Even goes back into Sagittarius for the winter solstice and until the end of the year. It comes forward again, goes into Capricorn again on the 13th of January, and of course has to travel across Pluto one more time, which will be by then nearly 6 degrees, so that will be the 18th of January. So this whole period of time, from this new moon until the 18th of January, and give yourself another few days, will be about whatever it is that's uppermost in your mind right now, especially that thing which seems most important and that may have you feeling a little bit uncertain of your ability to handle it, a bit uncertain as to whether it will be for your benefit or not. The new moon in Sagittarius, of course, the middle of Sagittarius, as I've said in my letter on my website for this month, it's very much appropriate to this time of the year as partying. I think when we get close to the winter solstice, it's lovely for all the for coming together of people And in Sagittarius, it always works better when there's a purpose. So finding something to do with your gathering will be what will actually attract people. I think this is true especially this month because the Sun and Moon are sextiling Saturn in Libra. So gatherings organised for the community, whether it's a big community or whether the community is just your little family or you and a few friends, to gather together with a purpose to help each other. A beautiful exercise to do at the winter solstice, if you think of it as being the energy drawn in, because the winter solstice itself is when the Sun moves from Sagittarius into Capricorn. There's the drawing in of all the ideas and that moment before the creation of whatever is coming next. And the exercise that one can do, it's lovely to do with other people as well, is to write down a list of all your negatives, that is your negative thoughts, negative opinions you've been holding about people, grudges you may have against them, judgments that you've noticed you've got and you can see that they're negative. Write a list down which gets them, as it were, out of your system, onto the paper, and then burn them in the winter fire. Now I'm speaking winter and the fire, well aware that south of the equator it's quite the reverse. Maybe there can be a different meaning. Maybe it gets burned up in the sun. In the days after the new moon, Mars moves into Capricorn, which gives energy to the manifesting of whatever maybe solutions we've come to in our thinking about situations. One last point, the full moon actually happens on the winter solstice, the day of the winter solstice, the 21st of December. So it's the very, very last little bit of Sagittarius to Gemini, this full moon. And it happens to be also a total eclipse of the moon. What you make of total eclipses will be up to you and what you know and who you speak to and what websites you read. But a total eclipse draws attention to a moment. So this particular winter solstice feels like a very important moment. There are more comments on my website. And the contemplation follows. Relax your thinking mind for a moment and be with the loving space around you. Let your shoulders rest for a while. Be undefended. You are safe. Fear teaches us that we must hold it close to be safe from some terrible result, and the only terrible result of this is feeling fearful. Fear teaches us that there is something dreadful outside, but the most dreadful thing is inside, fear itself. Our thoughts tell us anxiously that we must know what's going to happen so we can be prepared to deal with everything. But we cannot know how to be appropriate to a situation until it rises. Trust that you are more than a personality, more than a package of knowledge and thoughts, that your soul contains your life pattern and movement, that your body informs you of your present needs. Trust above all that you are not alone. You are in company with all who love when you remember your soul. With laughter and joy so close you can touch them if you just reach out from your heart and join us